Morning, peeps. This is your boy Matt. I'm here bringing you my review of 2020's Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. It was directed by Kathy Yan. I'm hoping that they bring her back to do Gotham Sirens because I believe her, in conjunction with Margot Robbie and the rest of the cast and crew, did a pretty decent job giving us an R-rated villain film within the DC universe. And this is the second proof that, yes, villain movies probably would do a lot better if they were rated R. Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix and the cast and crew of Joker proved that in 2019. I feel that these guys and gals did that this time, early start of 2020. This is a spin-off from 2016's Suicide Squad. The best thing that came out of that movie for me was Harley Quinn. I actually think the worst thing that was in that film was Joker, simply because of the portrayal. Not necessarily Jared Leto's performance itself, but the portrayal of Harley and Joker's relationship. So I'm glad that coming into Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, they decided to split them up, because Joker don't really give a shit about that girl anyway. And any of you Batman fanatics like myself, y'all know that going back to the 1990s Batman animated series where Harley was conceptualized. And also, much to my surprise, who's featured in this film, Renee Montoya. And I'll get to her in a second. I think the greatest selling point for this movie was the fact that it was rated R. So that allowed them to delve into the action, get very brutal with it. Because let me tell you, these girls be fucking them villains up bad. I mean, the villains actually take it to them too, but there were some moments where Harley was beating the hell out of a guy with her famous mallet or hammer, whatever the hell that thing is, and it's like, you need to kill this dude. You done fucked him up too much. Just take him out of his misery, okay? Put him out of my misery watching you whip his ass. But anyhow, what I like the fact that Margot Robbie, helped produce the film, because she was the one who really pitched the idea for it to be rated R. And I think that allowed them to play with the comedy somewhat too, the more of a dark humor, and you'll know what I'm talking about if you go to see it. So the best performance was Margot Robbie, of course. Suicide Squad, we got crazy, insane Harley, unpredictable, Google eyes for Mr. J, of course. This film, we get vulnerable Harley, kicked out on her own, no longer has Joker's protection, nobody really likes her, so they out to get her. And she has to find her own way, has to become her own person. But I also like the fact that they delve into how smart she is. Harley is smart. She's a psychologist. No, I'm sorry, psychiatrist. She has a PhD. So there were a few moments where they were able to play with the dialogue and the interaction that she has with the characters, and she psychoanalyzes them. And then she breaks the fourth wall a few times too, which was a nice touch. I kind of feel like that's a Deadpool-esque thing. What I also liked was they did give you background stories for all of the characters. Harley's was summed up in probably like a 5 to 10 minute little animated sequence that was nice. That was cool. Also, shifting over to my next favorite performance was Ewan McGregor's Roman Sionis. Now, the only real knowledge I have with him, experience with that character, is the portrayal of him in Arkham Origins, which he pretty much got his ass handed to him by the Joker. He looked cool though, black mask and everything. And then him in Batman Under the Red Hood. That was the adult animated film that was produced by the DC animated universe. He was cool in that too, but again, he ended up having to call upon the Clown Prince of Crime for help. Like, you can't do shit yourself, Roman. But anyhow, Ewan McGregor portrays him, and Ewan McGregor is best known for his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequel trilogy of Star Wars. And I'm happy that he's reprising that role too. Can't wait, Disney Plus, you gotta bring that to me. But he sums up his portrayal of Roman Sionis as being, aka Black Mask, as being the ultimate narcissist. He fucking right. Like, that dude was crazy. misogynistic. He hated women and he didn't care. He just didn't care. But I really like how they used that level of his craziness, and they had his right hand be Victor Zsasz. Victor Zsasz is a serial killer who likes cutting up people, and his trademark is cutting tallies of his victims onto his body. So he is, I know, it's always been a portrayal of him in the comic book to hold a special place for Batman on his body, special spot. So he plays Black Mask's right hand, and he just plays right into that narcissism, Black Mask's ego and everything, pumping him up to do crazier shit, and that was cool. And the person who portrayed him was Chris Messina. I'm not very familiar with his other work that he's done, but I'm gonna check him out because I liked him in this movie. The only other iteration of Victor Zsasz live action that we got was back in Batman Begins, and it was like a homage to the character. He was, yes, a killer for the mob, but Batman took his ass out in like one move, just picked him up and took them all. So, moving on. Jurnee Smollett-Bell. I didn't know she was Jussie Smollett's sister. But anyhow, I have been a fan of her acting since I saw her on Friday Night Lights. She did a very good job playing a high school student who ended up joining the coaching staff of the football team, and she became an integral part to that coaching staff. And then by the end of that series, she moved on to better things. She was able to bring that level of good acting, because it was a very good drama, into her role as Dina Lance. And I also liked her story arc, particularly because she's kind of caught, she's the one that I felt was caught in a rock and a hard place, kind of in the worst way. Like wanting to do good, but stuck in a very bad situation simply because she had kind of a messed up backstory too, which they don't delve into as much as they delve into the others. But she still did a very good job. She put in a lot of work to train for this role, doing a lot of research, using the comic books. They even feature the canary cry in this film, and it's not overused. She's like the only supernatural thing in this film, and I appreciated that. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who plays Helena Bertinelli, her backstory is featured the most because it helps drive the plot. I really like her portrayal of Helena, also known as the Huntress. We do get an interpretation of her in Arrow, which was done pretty well. It was. I do like this portrayal of her better because this being kind of a dark action comedy supervillain film and superheroine, they play on that. Like, she is, Helena Bertinelli is, I'm gonna put an arrow in your damn throat and then ask you questions after the fact. So they really do a good job with that. And in the comic books, even in the Batman, even in the Justice League TV show I used to watch, she butted heads with a lot of people because of her killing policy, specifically Batman. Batman has a no-kill policy. And for as straightforward and tough as nails as she is, she's socially awkward as hell in this film. And I love the fact that they mess around with that shit. And if you see it, hopefully you'll like it too. Now, Renee Montoya, Rosie Perez. I did not even know she was in this film. And I know Renee Montoya, again, from the 90s Batman cartoon. She was a young, tough beat cop who ended up getting her bearings to become a full-fledged detective, and she played the Mulder to Harvey Bullock, you know, the fat cop with the fedora, always stuffing donuts in his damn face, hating on Batman, don't like him. She played Mulder to his Scully in terms of their belief that Batman was a good force in Gotham. And she was young in that series, very good, always got the job done. And so they cast Rosie Perez in this film to play an older veteran one who's kind of burnt out combating with the corruption of the GCPD as well as trying to go after these characters. And Rosie did her damn thing. Little Spitfire, knew what she was doing. Like, fuck you guys, I'm going to go after Roman Sionis. I'm going to go after Harley Quinn. Get out my way. Let me do my thing. and she did a damn good job. So if you decide to utilize Rosie Perez more, Renee Montoya, make sure Rosie's doing a DCEU. It's a pretty decent film. Check it out, peeps.